Is everybody in? The ceremony is about to begin.
I think it's a taboo subject. Nobody really wants to talk about it.
Freaking out here.
So I honestly can't remember when I didn't see corrosion.
Clearly, someone was going to get killed from this problem.
But definitely a lot of people got hurt.
We're going live here.
And 9 months later, it broke under body weight, just somebody leaning back on it.
And after that, bolts started breaking regularly.
They'll break, like a potato chip.
What's wrong with me? Okay.
I mean, it's absolutely impossible that you could tell the condition of the boat.
Hey guys.
This thing is so corroded, it's dangerous.
With me, Mark?
By buying this film, you're essentially saving lives.
Shit, man. You okay?
Leftovers hit me in the head.
Real? Did it really?
Yeah.
Everybody has a place maybe or an ideal situation, but Thailand is pretty hard to beat.
It's just it's a great place for a vacation.
There's fantastic rock climbing, fantastic people. The Thai people are awesome. The food is awesome. The lodging, well, it's rustic.
Oh, you could just tell right away. I mean, it was loaded with pockets, it was good quality rock, it was slightly overhanging, it was like everything you're looking for.
It's God's own climbing area. I mean, you're laughing. You giggle as you climb there. It's incredible.
It tends to be big holds. It tends to be very steep. And then the location, you've just got this paradise. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's just one of those places, if you're a climber and you have the means, you're kind of crazy not to check it out.
What this means is people come without really wanting to think about something like, it's dangerous here. And if you're climbing on expansion bolts, you're in an extremely dangerous situation there. You're essentially, on some routes, you're soloing. Because of its holiday-like setting, you have an even more dangerous setup because the mindset is just, don't worry about it, you're in paradise. But this is the snake in paradise, and it it's going to kill somebody if it doesn't get fixed.
I'm pretty sure it was the first year I was there in '93 the year I met you before we started putting research together. Some old drunk sailor. I remember him. It was just one of those random conversations at Sunset Bar that you have, and I remember him just ragging on me, just saying how insane we were, the climbing around and placing these stainless steel bolts, and he was just like, those bolts will never last, they'll break, and he was like, stainless steel in this environment, and I was like, what the fuck is this going on about,
I'm pretty sure the first time that I saw corrosion in Thailand was the first day I ever went climbing.
The first signs of corrosion we saw were, my second trip. The bolts looked funny from the first trip. It's only been 1 year. This is a typical thing you would see in Thailand prior to the rebolting effort. It's a Hilti 10mm bolt, stainless steel, 304 grade stainless, with a Petzl 304 grade stainless steel hanger. And you'd come up to that and you'd see just a little bit of corrosion out here on the surface, and you'd be like, okay, that one's fine. But of course, rotate it around, it's not so fine. It's already been broken off.
You get that occasional bolt, every fourth bolt or something, you'll see a little ring of corrosion. Basically, it happens right at the surface of the rock. You'll see a little bit of a ring, it'll turn brown, and eventually you'll turn black, and as soon as you see the black color, you can usually just drop your hammer on it or give it a little bit of force and it'll break.
Well, at first we thought we must have just gotten a bad batch of steel or something for the very first route. And, you know, why would the stainless steel break down within a year and a half, 2 years? How could that happen? You know, we were innocent and ignorant of the fact that stainless steel could break down. I mean, we thought, oh, stainless steel, it never breaks down. You know, they make ships out of it and stuff. I think it was in '95, we had the first one break with a fall. The guy wasn't hurt, but obviously was pretty scared. And after that, bolts started breaking regularly with falls and even with body weight.
Well, I don't remember when I first saw the signs of it, but I was mentioning to you that, I opened that route playing with fire, and I had placed a 1/2-inch stainless steel Hilti bolt at the anchor at the end of the first pitch, and 9 months later, it broke under body weight, just somebody leaning back on it. So that was, I guess for me, a really pretty shocking thing to think that a 1/2-inch stainless steel bolt in less than a year could break under body weight.
Clearly, someone was going to get killed from this problem, and we did feel like we had the ability to mitigate it to some degree. So the first thing we did was we made a list, and that was when I met Shamik, because he was starting to think the same thing, and we were coming from he was staying over on Tanzai, which was all new then. We met then and started discussing what would be actually the right issue.
First time I saw corrosion on stainless steel bolts was in '94 on PP Islands. We thought, well, okay, somebody broke the bolt, and that's what you thought, We didn't realize it would be like a chemical problem or some kind of galvanic action problem, or we actually thought somebody just broke the bolt. It's possible perhaps to break bolts. But then shortly after, you realize this is happening everywhere. This is not just this one particular climb or 2 climbs. This is actually throughout the whole climbing area.
And he came up with the idea of, we knew these things existed, but he thought, okay, what if we encapsulate these things in some sort of epoxy? So we start using the glue-in bolts.
Following year, when I came back to Thailand, I brought some glue-in bolts with the little Hilti capsules. I was thinking perhaps isolating the stainless steel from the chemicals in the rock. That actually using of glue will protect the bolt.
And at first we thought the stainless steel glue-ins were going to be the solution, just the glue-in problem as opposed to the expansion problem, and didn't turn out that way.
So the thinking was good, but what didn't know at the time is that the glue we're using was not very good at the time. It was construction glue used for very different applications, not for rock climbing applications. The porosity of the glue still allowed the chemicals to come and attack the stainless steel.
We said, all right, let's go buy this marine grade steel. They can put that stuff under ships that cross the ocean. That's bound to work.
Surgical steel, acid proof. Nothing can touch it, right? We're wrong again.
Everybody had theories. It could have been the salt in the air. It could have been the heat. It could have been just the type of limestone that was unique.
I don't know what to think. You just really hard to figure out how that could happen. We had lots of theories.
I'm not a scientist. I didn't study metal. I'm a climber.
Hi, my name's Mark, and I'm a scientist.
My name is Angèle, and I'm a chemist and a metallurgist. You can't just throw this at a metallurgist and say, why is this corroding, and not have them go, oh, wait a minute, this is really unusual.
Limestone, high precip, high temperature, high humidity, they all make the system worse, and you have all of it.
I obtained a 316L stainless steel hanger that was used on a climb at Railay Beach, and it failed just by somebody bending it with their hand. The bolts are failing by what's called stress corrosion cracking. What's happening is that you're forming corrosion at the tip of a crack, and you keep driving that crack deeper and deeper into your material. You can't tell how much corrosion is happening deep inside, especially with stress corrosion cracking. You cannot tell by just looking at the bolt and whether or not it's shiny or if it's covered with rust. Because it doesn't take a lot of stress corrosion cracking happening deep in your material to drive a crack all the way through so that it's going to fail at a very low load. You can just break it off with your hand.
It's the microclimate around that bolt that's going to make a difference. I mean, if it's possible for something to corrode, it will corrode, period.
There's no reason to be wasting time. If you know that this is severe corrosion happening this quickly, this is the wrong material for that environment.
The only realistic way to approach it is to put something there that won't corrode, because that corrosion the salts that cause the corrosion will be there, and your only real choice is to have a bolt or something else that doesn't corrode.
But because it's difficult and expensive to do studies like this, it's easier just to use a material that you know will survive in these conditions, and that's titanium. The reason why titanium will work in Thailand is because the sea air and the temperature, none of those things, sea air temperature, humidity, or the limestone, none of those things are going to affect titanium at all. So titanium is definitely going to solve the bolting problem in Thailand.
The ultimate goal is to create the safest possible place. Rock climbing will never be totally safe, but to create the safest environment we can, so whatever it takes, it's worth it.
If I can save one life already, then that was worth it. It's a personal story, but I know what it's like to have a complete gear failure and falling to the ground and hitting ground. It's a horrible feeling when you realize that all the faith you have in your system, your gear, your partner, everything failed, and now you're free falling to the ground. So this happened to me. So it's a bad feeling.
And if people get hurt, it could shut it down. So that's another worry that everyone has. I mean, it's too fantastic to get shut down. Once you've been to Thailand and you've realized how unbelievably great the climbing is, that's no big deal. It's totally worth rebolting it. This place is beyond magical. It's just too good to be true.
The best moments of my life have all been on the Phrang Peninsula. It's the most beautiful place in the world. It's incredibly romantic. It's, in my opinion, the most fun type of sport climbing in the world. There's never been a place that I felt as attached to as I do that place. I generally just feel at peace with the world when I'm there.
I love the international aspect of the climbing community here. It's really, really cool. There are cats from all over the world climbing here. This is beautiful. I don't know if there's another place like that in the world.
Thailand is an international climbing center. Climbers from all over the world go to this climbing area, and they can't if this isn't done.
There is no question that the climbing in southern Thailand is unique and special to thousands of climbers around the world. This film is a call to action to those climbers to help preserve this experience for present and future climbers. Leaving steel bolts to corrode in these cliffs is a potentially dangerous proposition. And unlike most countries where climbing exists, there is no infrastructure in Thailand like climbing clubs, organizations, or associations to deal with this problem. It's not an easy task to try to organize the international climbing community, but Thailand is worth it. This film is a fundraiser to buy the necessary tools and equipment to complete the Thaitanium Project's mission, to rebolt all routes that still have steel bolts in them. Titanium bolts have proven themselves, and they are the best option we have to climb in Thailand as safely as we possibly can. If you purchase this film, 100% of the proceeds go to the rebolting efforts. The Thais can't do it alone, the people in this film can't do it alone, and we need your help.
She gets out of the car to feed the baby just one more time. She got the pumpkins that my daughter and I had carved. I'll pull our friends to the show, it's time to go.